I'll be honest, most of us have tried a cheap keyboard that looked good on a thumbnail, only to find the keys feel like plastic and the sound disappears the moment you lift your fingers. That regret can linger for weeks, especially when you finally sit down to practice and the instrument just doesn't respond the way you imagined. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So the question is whether the Kawai CA401 digital concert piano feels like a smarter buy, or if it's just another glossy promise that falls flat after the box is opened. First off, the CA401 is positioned as a full-size, 88-key digital piano that tries to bridge the gap between a studio-grade instrument and a living room-friendly piece of furniture. What makes it stand out isn't just the sleek satin black finish, but the fact that Kawai has packed its proprietary GR-Feel compact wooden key action into a relatively thin chassis. For anyone who has spent time on a cheap synth with light, springy keys, the moment you press a note on this piano you feel a subtle resistance that mimics the weight of an acoustic piano hammer. It's not a full-size hammer action, but in a home setting it's enough to give your fingers a realistic workout without the fatigue you get from a lightweight keyboard. From a practical standpoint, the everyday setup is straightforward. The unit arrives in a single box with a power cord, a sustain pedal and a quick start guide. You can get it on the floor or on a low stand, and the built-in OLED graphic display does a good job of showing you the current voice, reverb level, and lesson mode without taking up extra space on the console. I've seen a lot of digital pianos where the screen is either hidden behind a menu maze or so bright it becomes a distraction. Here the display is just bright enough to read at a glance, which matters when you're switching between a Mozart piece and a pop backing track mid-practice. One of the biggest selling points Kawai touts is its progressive harmonic imaging sound engine. In real-world use, this means the piano can respond to the nuances of your playing soft pedal, hard pedal, and even the way you release a note. When I tried a simple C major arpeggio with a light sustain, the sound lingered in a way that sounded almost acoustic, and when I pressed the damper pedal hard, the lower register filled out without becoming muddy. The 192-note polyphony also prevents note cutting during dense passages, which is something you notice quickly if you're working on list or just layering chords for a YouTube cover. Now, let's talk about the built-in Alfred lessons. If you're a beginner who wants a structured curriculum without buying separate software, this integration can be a lifesaver. The lessons guide you through basic finger placement, rhythm exercises, and even some music theory, all displayed on that OLED screen. For a parent who wants to keep a child engaged, the step-by-step approach works well because the piano gives immediate auditory feedback. However, the lesson library isn't as extensive as a dedicated app like Flowkey or Piano Marvel. If you're looking for hundreds of songs and video tutorials, you'll eventually need to supplement with external resources. Who should consider the CA401? If you already have some piano background and you're looking for a home instrument that feels authentic enough to keep you motivated, this model hits the sweet spot. It's also a solid choice for teachers who want a reliable instrument for studio lesson students can experience a realistic key weight and expressive sound without the maintenance hassles of an acoustic piano. The compact wooden key action makes it easier on the wrists during long practice sessions, which is a practical benefit for anyone dealing with repetitive string concerns. On the other hand, there are clear scenarios where you might want to skip this piano. If you're a complete casual player who only dabbles a few minutes a week, the price point could feel steep compared to a budget 61-key keyboard that would still let you explore basic chords. Likewise, gigging musicians who need a stage-ready piano with a robust mounting system might find the CA401's design a little too domestic. It isn't built for road travel or quick stage changes. Finally, if you're an advanced concert pianist who demands the utmost acoustic fidelity and a full hammer action, you'll probably notice the subtle differences in key depth and tonal complexity compared to a high-end hybrid piano. In terms of weaknesses, the biggest practical trade-off is the speaker system. The CA401 relies on built-in speakers that are adequate for a bedroom or a small studio, but if you're playing with a group or trying to fill a larger room, you'll quickly want to route the output to external monitors or headphones. The headphone jack works fine, but the volume control on the unit itself feels a bit finicky. Turn it too quickly and the level jumps, which can be annoying when you're trying to dial in a precise mix for recording. Also, while the OLED screen is helpful, it doesn't support touch, so navigating menus still